What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another video. So this is a quick video on why no one likes the hatchet. There's a lot of reasons why someone may or may not like a weapon, and that's disposition, personal play style, what you like, what you don't like. But in this game, New World, almost everyone doesn't like the hatchet, or if they use the hatchet, they don't feel like the hatchet's very strong. And I kind of wanted to break down why that is. So in New World, you basically have obviously abilities for defense and offense. We'll go through first the abilities on the hatchet. Everyone knows about Berserk. Berserk is the main ability here that everybody knows and uses on the class. Well, why is this? Well, Berserk gives you 20% increased damage. It gives you 20% mobility. It heals you for 30% of your HP. If you get CC'd, you can use it and break out of the crowd control ability. And if you attack with it, you can avoid crowd control abilities actually affecting you. And if you get low, then you can actually defy death and then not die for 3 seconds, which then gives you 3 more seconds of cooldown towards using Berserk again. And if you include this with things like hitting an enemy 3 times while being uninterruptible, while also getting an extra 15% reduced damage, you can start seeing why this feels a little powerful in a few regards. They're basically getting everything except for one thing. You're not getting a crowd control ability. The only real crowd control ability that is worth anything is this right here. You leap forward towards an enemy, and then at the very end, if you upgrade it, it causes a root, immobilizing a target for 2 seconds. And that's really about it. I don't think anything else is worth mentioning on here. And this kind of leads to a problem. In New World, your defensive options are dodge, block, and to run away. Well, if your target runs away, you can use Berserk, chase them down, and then basically you can root them for 2 seconds and do a little bit of damage. But at that point, you're basically stuck. You can't do anything. So the class is really good for chasing somebody down and hitting them one time. But after that, you're not really able to do anything else. You're kind of just sitting there, and you can't really catch your opponents. So it feels weak to play offensively. And if you're playing defensively and playing against a hatchet player, well, what happens is they pop Berserk, they run at you, they're going to do increased damage, they're going to run faster than you, so you can't run away from them very easily. On top of that, you're going to have 30% HP regain, so any damage you do to them, you have to do at least more than 30% of their health and damage, otherwise it's going to heal back up to full HP. And if they attack you, your CCs don't work, right? So a good player who uses this properly will always anticipate your crowd control abilities and interrupt them every single time. This leads to a very frustrating playstyle for both players. If you're offensive with a hatchet, you cannot actually catch somebody, and if you're playing against a hatchet, you can't do anything because you have to wait for the Berserk to wear off, right? So you're having to run, and then when they get close, you dodge, and then you run, and then you dodge again when they get close, and you have to repeat that for 12 seconds because for 12 seconds they have Berserk. And then after Berserk wears off, you have to basically kill them 2 times, right? You have to get them down to no HP, then run away because, well, they're unkillable for 3 seconds, so you have to run away again for 3 seconds, on top of the original 12 seconds you have to run away. And then after that, that's 15 seconds. You have basically 15 seconds after you proc Defy Death and Berserk has gone off to kill them. And so there, half the time, you literally can't fight against someone who has a hatchet. You literally just can't fight against them if they're playing properly. Now, of course, some people are going to be like, well, just CC them when they're not attacking forehead. And there is an argument there for very high skilled players to take advantage when the other player isn't playing properly and punish them. But that opportunity is very sparse and not very rewarding, again, because if you mess up even once, they're just going to heal back all of the HP. And then if they hit you multiple times, then look, they're going to take 15% less damage, and they're going to deal 30% more damage, plus an additional 20% for a total of 50% more damage to you. Good luck beating that. So this is kind of the problem, and I'm going to reiterate again. Offensive players using Hatchet feel like Hatchet can't catch a player, which is really true. They only have 1 CC, and it's only average. And players playing against Hatchet feel like, for 15 seconds, right? 12 seconds for Berserk, and 3 seconds here, they can't really do anything, and they just have to run away and dodge. Both of these leave both players unhappy. Players playing against Hatchet don't like it, and players playing Hatchet also don't really like it. But it's so good because you don't die. The Hatchet as a defensive option is so crazy that people feel like they have to kind of run Hatchet. And so this is sort of a problem on both sides. You feel like you have to run it, but you don't like playing offensively with it, and you don't like playing defensively against it either. So how can they really solve this? I'm not a game developer, but there's some clear, obvious things here that you can work on to make this much more enjoyable for players. I think the big thing here is there's no counterplay for the defensive player, and there's no counterplay for the offensive player with Hatchet. So to fix that, you have two different problems. To fix the defensive problem, I think the simple solution is you remove uninterruptible Berserk and you add this somewhere else in the tree, somewhere else that makes something else better. That way the players can recognize, Berserk is going on, but I can still CC them and counter Berserk, because right now there is no counter to Berserk, and the counter for Berserk should be there. It should be lots of DPS, or you CC them, or there's another maybe more clever way of solving this. So for now, I feel like the main way they can solve this is removing uninterruptible Berserk from, I think, the entire thing, and adding a additional CC to like Raging Torment or one of the other things in here. That way the players can occasionally have a little bit more of the crowd control. This would fix two problems, right? Players using Hatchet offensively would be able to CC their opponent, and they would feel like it's a little bit more viable. And players playing against Hatchet would feel like they could CC a Hatchet player and actually have a chance to counter out the benefits of Berserk. I do think the healing on here, I feel like healing and mobility is a little weird. I feel like you should force players to pick one of the two as the final in the tree, where you get to pick either you want 20% mobility or you want a ton of healing, and the players could choose the playstyle that best benefits them, right? That I think it would be a very interesting choice to have people pick. Sort of like this right here, but you can only pick one of the two. So anyway, that's my thoughts on Hatchet, on why most people don't like Hatchet, and how no matter how much they buff it or they nerf it, I feel like it has a fundamental issue, which is it has a little bit of everything, but not in the right way. So hopefully it gives you some insight on why that is. If you have comments, I'm sure you guys have lots of opinions on why Hatchet's too OP, what they should nerf, what they should buff, or what needs changing about it. Let me know in the comments what your opinions are, because I'm not trying to say this is the only way it has to be. There's more than one way of doing things, and I'm really curious what you guys think about that. Let me know what you think, and I'll catch you in the next video.